Welcome back, everybody. My name is Tucker, and yesterday I sent out a tweet asking you guys to send me some questions about the league or about the channel or about whatever, it didn't matter, just to kind of celebrate reaching 50,000 subscribers on the channel, which is an awesome accomplishment, and I'm super happy that we got there. So I just wanted to answer some of y'all's questions and see what you guys had to say. But just so you know, there's also a little buddy in today's video. This is Freckles. Me and my girlfriend adopted him the other day. He's 11 weeks old. So if you see him walking around in the background a little bit, he's a little camera shy. You see him walking around in the background a little bit, and you're curious what he's doing, then that's Freckles. He's just going to be hanging out for a little bit. Well, let's start it off now with Daniel. He said, if everything goes right, what is your ultimate goal for the Sporting Logically channel, your brand or career, etc.? And for me, I try to make it into small, immediately achievable goals. For me personally, I want to try and get to 100K either by the end of 2019 or by this time next year. I feel like that's definitely something that's doable, a realistic goal. YouTube can be a little bit weird sometimes. It's definitely very up and down, but that's my immediate goal. Beyond that, I want to continue to grow the podcast just because I want to grow this brand, if you want to put it that way, on multiple different platforms and kind of reach as many people as I can and just kind of go from there. But those are the two things that I'm focusing on in an immediate sense. Jay said, if you could go back and do one thing over or do something that you never did, what would it be? And I'm going to assume that he means about the channel specifically. And I don't really have one. I feel like YouTube is something that you just kind of have to try new things and see what works. There's been plenty of videos, plenty of video ideas that when I made them, I wasn't 100% sure. I'm almost never 100% sure that it was going to go well, that people were going to like it. And you just kind of have to try new things. And if people don't like it, then there's always a new video to make. There's always another day to put out a video, and you just have to kind of try new things. So I don't really think I have anything related to the channel that I really regret or something that I wish I had done. Carter Sue says, how did you get into sports and basketball in particular? I've always been really into sports, mostly football and basketball. I'm a huge Carolina Panthers fan, NC State at the college level, and then obviously the Nets in the NBA. I don't know. And it's weird because it's not really something that was ever emphasized in my family growing up. I'm really the only person in immediate or extended family that cares about sports at all. I don't really know where it came from. My dad's fairly tall. We played basketball in the driveway a lot growing up, but it's just kind of something that I found myself, just something that I was really interested in and just kind of grew my knowledge in it over the years, and then played basketball in high school, and have just always been super into sports and basketball. Jason Tatum Burner says, who inspired you for YouTube? And this is something that it's weird. I kind of have like my 100K video in the back of my mind already, and just going to talk about how YouTube came about for me and just a whole bunch of things, but I'll briefly talk about it here. There's not really one person that necessarily inspired me in YouTube, whether it be NBA or otherwise. I kind of found YouTube as like an entertainment medium like 3 or 4 years ago, and just one day it hit me, around the time I started the channel, probably a year and a half ago. These are all just regular people. Like, there's nothing that makes them inherently different. Some of them are more charismatic. Some of them are extremely talented. Some of them just are really good at editing. And a lot of people are just a combination of those things. But there's nothing inherently different about me or about someone that has, millions and millions of subscribers on YouTube. And it's something that I feel like everybody could possibly make it in. It's just something that happens for some people and not for others. So it's not really an inspiration. It's just that's something that kind of made me realize, hey, let's try this. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work, but put everything you can into it and see if it works out. And so far it has. Next up, Evan asked if I have any hobbies. Basically, I make videos. I watch a lot of basketball. I hang out with friends. I love going to the beach. I don't live at the beach, but I'm close enough to where we can take trips to the beach all the time. And I just play video games. I play a lot of video games. Hopefully at some point in the future, once I grow this channel more, I would like to do either a second channel about gaming, just playing games, or potentially streaming in the future, which I've messed around with in the past because I love playing games. That's one of the ways that me and my friends hang out. Right now, I'm still very much on the Fortnite grind. Came back in for Season 7. I've been grinding that a lot. But really, 2K, all the sports games, Madden. I've been playing a little bit of Apex lately as well. Pretty much any game I'm into. So video games would probably be the other hobby in addition, like I said, going to the beach. Next up, Tyler says, what is your take on tanking in today's NBA as a strategy to improve? And for me personally, it's something that's becoming increasingly maybe not necessary, but obviously increasingly prevalent. And in the future, it may be even more necessary. But you can also see teams like the Utah Jazz that have a lot of guys that they drafted out of late or guys that they signed off of other teams. Then obviously Donovan Mitchell being the main catalyst as a late lottery pick. You can still create a really, really good team without tanking. And I just think that the danger comes in when you're in a situation like the Phoenix Suns are, where you've been tanking for so long and there's really no progress. And even though you have promising players on the roster like Devin Booker and to an extent DeAndre Ayton, their potential isn't being realized because you are so focused on tanking and having everybody. It's such an analytical approach to having everybody on the team being so young, not having any veterans. And that is kind of where I think we're going to start to see some teams pivot away from tanking to the point where all your guys are so young. Obviously, you want to get the best players you can in each draft, and the best way to do that is to pick as high as you can if you're not going to be a playoff or a championship contender. But it's something that I think people are going to start realizing some of the other effects of it on the franchise, especially after some of the things that Philadelphia went through, some of the things that Phoenix is currently going through, and start to adjust their tanking strategy. But it's definitely viable. Martel says, what sport were you an intramural champ at? You always wear the shirt in the videos. To be fair, I wear the same shirts, hoodies, and hat, and like every 5 videos, I feel like I wear the same stuff. It was just intramural basketball. They had leagues at NC State, and my intramural basketball team, my junior year, I think, we ended up winning the intramural championship. That's all that was. But again, I apologize if I wear the same shirts all the time. It's just kind of what I do. And last up now, 704 Hoop says, should the Hornets let Kemba walk this offseason? Love your video so much. Thank you. I appreciate that. The Kemba thing is actually getting a little bit interesting because I've just kind of assumed this entire season, based off a lot of reports, that he's going to stay. They're going to sign him to a lot of money. He wants to be there. They want him there. But there's been a couple of reports, whether you want to believe them or not, that maybe Kemba is considering leaving, and it's becoming more and more of a possibility that he might leave. In my opinion, if I'm the Hornets, even having seen them play in person, seeing how important Kemba is to their team and how much the city really, really loves him, I don't think you can justify paying him what you're going to have to pay. I'm assuming he makes an All-NBA team. He's not old, but he's, within that 5-year contract, he's going to get into his mid-30s. And I just don't think that that's a sustainable way to build your team. Like, this is probably the best year of Kemba Walker's career in terms of how good he's going to be moving forward. He might be a little bit better next year, but then he's going to start declining. And you don't want to pay a guy that much money when he's on the downswing. You want to be paying him when he's on the upswing. So, I don't know. It's so easy to just say it doesn't make sense to re-sign him, just let him walk. But you also have to understand how much he means to the franchise. They are in the East. They probably can make the playoffs on occasion. With their current roster, they're potentially going to make the playoffs this year, but it's not an every year thing. It's so tough to let a guy like that walk when he's so important to your team, when it's going to affect ticket sales, when it's going to affect everything. Obviously, they're not going to be a championship contender with him, with this roster at least, and it's going to be tough for them to kind of create a championship contender moving forward with some of their contracts. But yeah, I mean, from a basketball perspective, from a team building perspective, it's probably the right thing to do to let him walk. It's just, it would be a really tough thing to do. Maybe he's already considering leaving, and that makes it easier. If he wants to leave and he doesn't want to re-sign in Charlotte, then the decision is made for you. But yeah, I mean, I probably would, but it would not be an easy decision at all. And there you have it. That is going to be the end of today's video. Like I said, I just kind of wanted to give you guys an opportunity to ask me some questions, find out a little bit more about myself, ask me questions about the channel, about the league, about myself, whatever. And I'm glad you guys did that. I really appreciate all the people that sent in questions, even though I only picked a handful of them. And again, I just want to say thank you guys so much for 50,000 subscribers. This is something for me that I really don't focus on the numbers too much. I just kind of keep grinding away, put out videos as often as I can, and just kind of let them do what they do, because YouTube so often can get screwed up, or some days are bad days to upload because the algorithm's messed up or whatever. So it's just best for me to just put out videos, not focus on the numbers, and keep grinding away. And then I look up and all of a sudden I'm at 50,000 subscribers. The channel's at 50,000 subscribers. And just each and every one of you, whether you subscribed or not, whether you just watch the videos, whether you leave a like, whether you subscribe, whether you watch every single video, it's all a part of getting this channel to 50K and eventually to 100 and well beyond that in the future. I just thank you guys so much. It really does mean a lot. I'm really excited to keep going, keep growing this as well as the podcast, and just to keep putting out videos, because I feel like I'm kind of hitting my stride lately. I'm really enjoying what I'm putting out, which hasn't always been the case. But again, just thank you guys so much. Like I said in yesterday's video, the podcast will be coming back in a little bit. I just got to kind of get some things together. I'm in the process of moving, so I'm a little bit busy right now. But the podcast will definitely be back. But once again, my name is Tucker. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you missed any of my previous videos, then be sure to check out the boxes on screen. Thanks again, and I'll see you all next time.